Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. We're about a month removed from the start of the new year, and the chances are pretty good that our well-intentioned New Year's resolutions are now just a memory. Resolutions to lose weight, stop smoking, or drink less are common but largely ineffective. So what are the best strategies to meet our goals? Well, the answer is critically important, especially in light of the fact that prediabetes is a growing problem nationally and here in Vermont. 1 in 3 adults in this country have prediabetes, and an estimated 90% of them don't know they have it, which is why the CDC is launching a new campaign to raise awareness of prediabetes. Joining me are two guests. Robin Edelman is the Diabetes Program Administrator with the Vermont Department of Health, and alongside Robin is Judy Schwartz. Judy is the experienced and challenges of weight loss and is one of the estimated 184,000 Vermonters with prediabetes. Thank you both for coming in. Now, Robin, what is it about New Year's that makes us think that we can tackle behavior improvements, and why do we tend to be challenged a few weeks later?
Well, I think we, especially in the Western Hemisphere, we are into fresh starts. And even culturally and with religious traditions, there are these there are movements to have resolutions at the start of a new year. Yet weeks later, they tend to fail because we either have too many of them, or we don't track our progress, we forget about them, we just are too ambitious.
And so, Judy, like a lot of people, you've had experience with weight control. Can you talk a little bit about that and whether resolutions had an impact?
Well, I have tried most of the popular diets in my life, and they're difficult because you have to think about what you can and what you can't do. And I think, thinking about what you can't do it makes it more in your mind, that the thing that you're trying not to do. I think with resolutions, when I've made a resolution, I'm not going to do something. You're relying on I don't know how to phrase it, but you're not relying on habits. You're relying on a piece, a part of yourself that's trying to go against something. And so what I have learned, especially in this program, is instead of thinking about what I'm not doing, to really think about who I'd like to be and what I'd like to be doing.
So more positive thoughts.
Yeah. For example, I wanted to be a person who made good food choices. And so instead of focusing on the things that I was choosing not to eat, I would say to myself, I'm someone who makes healthy food choices. And that was sort of aspirational at first. I really wasn't, but within a few weeks I really was. And it was very easy for me to make the food choices that I wanted to make. I had a sort of a drastic change in my diet when I found out I was pre-diabetic. I cut out processed carbs and sugar, and that's pretty drastic. So it was hard. The first couple of weeks were sort of hard, that's why. And I reminded myself who I wanted to be very helpful then.
And so, Robin, Judy mentioned that part of her strategy is to stick with good behaviors, including positive sort of self-talk. What more can you tell us about that approach?
Well, Judy just illustrated it beautifully, and I'm going to remind viewers of an older book called The Little Engine That Could, with this small little engine chugging up the mountain, saying initially as an affirmation, I think I can, and gets to the top, powers itself to the top, and says, I thought I could. So we have ability to really inspire ourselves and change our behavior with the way we think, and it does take practice, as Judy was just illustrating. And also, I want to say that frequently there's a positive side to a negative story that we can turn around. For example, if my arthritic knee is interfering with my ability to do the kind of exercise I like, instead of the future will never be the same, it can be, life is full of adventures. Something new and exciting is around the corner.
This might be the time to pick up yoga.
Exactly, perfectly stated.
So, Judy, your most recent experience is with the diabetes prevention program offered by the YMCA statewide. How is this program different from past attempts?
Well, first, the motivation was very different because my doctor, when we discussed my prediabetes, was great. She asked if I was someone who can be motivated by fear, and I am. So she was very graphic about what diabetes would mean for my body. So that really was very helpful. The program piece, one thing that I found really helpful was being centered at the Y, part of it is that you would get a Y membership for 3 months. So I tried a lot of different kinds of classes that I wouldn't normally try. I discovered that Zumba is really not for me. I'm not coordinated enough. But I do like the core. I found things that I did spinning for the first time, and things so that was really helpful to try, because I think the exercise is really key. The food, of course, is very important, but, just figuring out how your body moves and ways to really enjoy that is very key. Mm-hmm.
And so, I mentioned at the beginning of the program that the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, has just released a campaign to raise awareness of prediabetes. Tell me about that campaign.
So it's a series of ads. I think we're going to see a couple shortly, and messages and tools to help people, consumers as well as healthcare providers, understand and utilize this ignored diagnosis that we were talking about, 90% not even knowing it, and then showing people that there's something they can do about it, statewide in Vermont, free, so they can turn this around, because we just really need to prevent diabetes, and we can do it.
Mm-hmm. And so you brought along a couple of the videos that are part of the campaign. Let's take a look at the first video, which is about checking your risk for prediabetes.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
So Robin, if someone's holding up 5 fingers right now or more, what's your advice as professional diabetes educator?
Well, first of all, talk to your healthcare provider, because that person will either have some blood work to help you determine your level of risk for prediabetes or diabetes. And then the next thing is think about ways that you can either eat more healthfully and be a little bit more physically active. I mean, we're going to be suggesting one with the program that Judy has been talking about, but there are other things people can do, and know that there are people here to support you in Vermont, so and elsewhere around the country. So this is happening in every state and territory of the U.S., and each state and territory has these programs operating now.
So if you were holding up 5 fingers, this is really your wake-up call. This is your call to action.
Absolutely. Look at those 5 fingers and then take them over to the phone and make an appointment to take the next steps.
Well, there's another video that drives home a message that no one is excused from prediabetes. Let's watch.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No? Whew.
Well, those videos are obviously straightforward, kind of funny, but even blunt. Why is that the best approach, do you think, to raising awareness?
Well, research has shown when there's an urgency, as there is in this case, you want to develop a message that is going to stick with people, be memorable, to make them think about it and contemplate action. So I think that these types of messages are the ads that we tend to either remember and maybe think about and act on.
Mm-hmm. And so in Vermont there are resources dedicated to prediabetes and diabetes. How can people find out more about them?
So we have this website and the myhealthyvt.org website, and then within that website, you can, if you click on that link, you get to a page that shows you the map of where you can find your regional coordinators, and those green bubbles are, if you click on those bubbles, you will find the people by phone or email that are closest to you offering these programs.
And there's really no excuse because, as you can see, there are plenty of sites to click on. All right, well, we have another video clip too, and this one involves a Vermont man telling his story. Robin, can you give us a little bit of a setup to what we're about to see?
Yes, we have a guy who is talking about what tipped him over into taking action. What made him go from just thinking about it to actually doing something about it? And he's a real Vermonter, one of the people who tells the stories about his involvement prior to the program.
All right, well, let's take a look.
Because of my weight, I felt mad at myself for letting myself get to that level. I also felt that I let my family down. I'm supposed to set an example to my kids, you know, so how am I doing that? I had chronic chest pains like up to a year and a half ago, and it's felt like I got stabbed. And it will last for about 10 seconds, and then it'll go away. I don't want my kids to like be 15 or 16 and having chest pains like I used to have because they were overweight. I could have gone to the gym, but I didn't. One of those reasons was I felt kind of out of place. Part of me just felt like too embarrassed to go. I get scared, like I don't want to get like that when I'm 40 or when I'm 50. I want to see my kids grow up. I mean, I want to be old and happy. My moment to change was my first day of work, not able to keep up, feeling that I let my team down, my coworkers. I was lagging behind. I was getting yelled at from my supervisor, you gotta keep up the pace, you gotta go faster, you gotta go faster, we gotta get this plane out on time, on time. You know, and that when I realized like, yo, I gotta really step it up. I know what I had to do, it was just a matter of getting to it. Being healthy means, for me, is like, not only watching what you eat, but how much you eat. I mean, biggest thing for me to do was for me to not eat till I'm full. Like, I had to learn to eat until I was nourished. You know, I want to teach my kids to eat healthy so they can be healthy and pass it on to their children. Being healthy to me means now finding a time to work out, even for a half hour a day. I got into the Y after scholarship program. Very inexpensive for me to go to the gym and pay for it every month. Like, I love going to the gym now. My reason to get healthy was this guy right here. You wanna give me a pound? Make your moment now.
Visit myhealthyvt.org and get started today.
So, Judy, can you relate to some of the things that Guy was talking about?
Oh, absolutely. Especially the piece about the kids, doing it for the kids. I so much want to be healthy and available to my kids as they get, meet their older challenges as older adults. Mm-hmm. And I want to do whatever I can to make that more likely.
Is it hard to maintain this sort of new lifestyle?
No, not right now, not really. Mm-hmm. The kids aren't really thrilled about the new food that I'm serving, I have to say.
But that's good, though, for them to see that as an example. And so, Robin, Guy's story is one of several that the health department is sharing with Vermonters. What are some of the other videos and people in the videos talk about?
They're talking about their moments when they realized they had to do something, whether it was that they couldn't chase after their child up the stairs without getting short of breath, or that they were actually embarrassed getting undressed in front of a partner or a spouse. And they realized, okay, I have a different future now. I can, my future isn't my parents' diabetes future. I can actually do something to turn this around, and I'm going to get started.
Is that really sort of the key, is that I think, most of us, when we go to the doctors and they give us a diagnosis or tell us what's going on, you think, well, that's it, that's my future, that's what it's going to be. But I don't think that people really realize a lot of times that they actually have the power to change that. Absolutely, and I think one of the keys, and it's in our slogan that we're going to show in just a minute when we bring that website back up, it's helping yourself to health, but look in the small print. Small steps are the start. And what we've been talking about here are doing small things to get started, and then success builds on success. Well, let's see if we can take up that website again so people can have that at home and if they want more information.
Sure.
What should folks do if they're interested in getting more information?
I think go to the website. They can be very easily led back to that map that we talked about before, and especially for prediabetes, they can go to diabetes prevention, and they'll see where they can do their own risk assessment test and sign up for a program near themselves.
Judy, we have about 30 seconds left. Is there anything you want to add before we leave today?
Go for it. You just are such a great role model.
Just do it.
Get started.
Just get started. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for joining us today. That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.